Captain Jordan Wakefield had no logical reason to listen to the voice. It wasn't on the radio, it wasn't from his co-pilot, it wasn't even a voice he could explain. Yet it was there, clear, urgent, and impossible to ignore.
Get out now.
For a man who had spent nearly 12 years piloting passenger planes through raging storms, mechanical failures, and unexpected turbulence, this was uncharted territory. Jordan was no stranger to challenges, but today felt different. The late afternoon sun struggled to pierce the dense, rolling clouds overhead, casting an eerie glow over Seaboard International Airport. A thick layer of humidity pressed down on the tarmac, making the air feel heavy, almost suffocating. In the distance, flickers of lightning illuminated the storm-shrouded horizon. Flight NA-814, a routine domestic route scheduled to carry 150 passengers, had been delayed indefinitely due to severe weather. Hours passed with anxious travelers pacing the terminal, glancing at their watches and refreshing weather apps in frustration. Ground crews scurried across the apron, rechecking safety protocols and servicing planes, their brows glistening with sweat. By the time Jordan arrived at the cockpit, the storm system appeared to be dissipating. The meteorological center had given the all-clear, though the skies were far from calm. Jordan methodically carried out his pre-flight inspection, scanning the readouts and confirming every detail. Beside him, co-pilot Hector Moreno verified the engine start procedures, occasionally offering quiet nods of affirmation. Hector was a by-the-book officer, a graduate of the prestigious Redwood Aviation Academy, and his disciplined approach often balanced Jordan's more intuitive style. Together, they made a formidable team. At first, everything seemed routine. Tensions were high, as they always were, with delayed flights and impatient passengers, but nothing out of the ordinary. Then, as Jordan checked the final instrument readings, he heard it again. The voice clear as day, urgent and impossible to ignore.
Get out now.
He blinked hard, forcing himself to focus. Was it exhaustion? Stress? He reached for a switch, but the voice echoed again, louder this time.
You must leave now.
His heart hammered in his chest, adrenaline surging through his veins. He glanced at Hector, but the co-pilot showed no sign of alarm, calmly announcing altimeter settings and radio frequencies. Outside, the wind howled around the fuselage, carrying the distant rumble of thunder. Jordan's gaze drifted over the apron, where a ground mechanic gave a thumbs up, signaling the completion of refueling and external checks. Through the cockpit window, he noticed a faint flicker in the control tower's lights, a subtle quiver that made his stomach churn. Something felt wrong, terribly wrong. The voice roared again, this time with such force it nearly made him jump out of his seat.
Take off immediately.
Without conscious thought, Jordan slammed a hand against the seat harness, abandoning his half-finished checklist. His mind screamed, in protest, torn between rational protocol and this unexplainable sense of urgency. Tower, this is Captain Wakefield of Flight NA-814, he said, his voice firm but edged with panic. Requesting immediate pushback clearance. Over. Hector's eyes widened. Captain, we need to wait for the signal. No, Jordan interrupted, his tone leaving no room for argument. We have to go now. In the control tower, air traffic controller Addison Morgan hesitated. Normally, she would insist on verifying all pre-flight protocols, especially with volatile weather still in the region. But something in Jordan's tone gave her pause. She glanced at the radar panels. The storm was clearing and winds were manageable, yet her gut twisted with unease. Flight NA-814, confirm readiness for immediate pushback, she said, her voice steady but tinged with caution. Tower, we are fueling complete. All critical checks are done. I repeat, request immediate clearance. Addison's gut told her to trust him. Copy that. Ground crew, proceed with pushback. As the plane began to move, passengers strapped in, stowing last-minute luggage, and switching off electronics. A hush spread through the cabin, broken only by the soft reassurances of lead flight attendant Lily Jang. She had worked with Jordan long enough to know when to trust his instincts. In the cockpit, Jordan's hands tightened on the controls. The voice pulsed
Again, a final impetus. This is it. Go, go.
Just as NA-814 began to accelerate down the runway, the ground convulsed with a monstrous roar. A magnitude 7.0 earthquake struck, fracturing the tarmac and sending cracks darting like lightning bolts across the asphalt. The control tower's lights flickered violently before going out entirely. "Earthquake! All flights, hold position if safe to do so!" Addison's voice crackled through the radio, laced with panic. "NA-814, do you copy?" But it was too late to abort. Jordan wrestled with the controls as one of the landing gear wheels dipped into a fissure in the runway. The engines roared, the fuselage shuddering as the plane fought to break free from the trembling ground. With a final desperate pull on the control column, the nose lifted and NA-814 soared into the stormy sky. Behind them, the airport descended into chaos. Terminal windows shattered, vehicles slid across the parking area, and the control tower buckled under the force of the quake. Addison stayed at her post, guiding Jordan with a shaky voice until the very end. "NA-814, you're at V1 speed. Rotation is go. Climb to safe altitude and maintain heading at 2 to 9. Watch for aftershocks." Her final words were cut off as the tower collapsed. In the air, Jordan and Hector navigated using emergency procedures, eventually establishing communication with a neighboring control center in Maple City. The passengers, though shaken, were safe. As the plane touched down on Maple City's runway, a wave of relief washed over Jordan. Tears burned at the corners of his eyes as he realized the magnitude of what had just happened. In the days that followed, Seaboard International Airport was declared structurally compromised. The earthquake had triggered landslides, destroyed roads, and caused catastrophic damage. Media coverage revealed that Addison Morgan and several others in the control tower had sacrificed themselves to ensure the safety of departing flights. Jordan sat in the Maple City Airport chapel, thinking of Addison's steady voice in those final desperate moments. He thought of the 150 lives that had been saved because they left just minutes before the runway fractured. It was a testament to the power of intuition and the bravery of those who put others before themselves. As he prepared for his next flight, Jordan carried forward the legacy of Addison's final act. He remembered her voice guiding him and his passengers to safety. It was a reminder that sometimes a single moment of courage can change the fate of many. The incredible story of Flight NA-814 reminds us that trusting our instincts can mean the difference between life and death. What would you have done in Captain Wakefield's position? Would you have trusted that mysterious voice? Sometimes the answers we seek are not found in logic, but in the quiet, urgent whispers of intuition.